Hello everyone. Rui Hachimura is back at Lakers facilities, demonstrating his unwavering commitment and dedication to his craft. It's truly inspiring to witness so many players putting in the hours and hard work, all motivated by our collective mission to win an NBA championship this year. As we look ahead, the question arises, will Hachimura be a starter or will he come off the bench? There are valid arguments for both scenarios. He possesses elite scoring ability and I look forward to seeing the Lakers maximize his offensive potential. During past games and live streams, there have been instances where our offense has seemed to stall, relegating Rui to a three-point shooter. However, his skill set offers much more versatility. We can run multiple offensive sets involving his size and shooting prowess. Also, it's worth mentioning that Hachimura has been working diligently with Phil Handy during this offseason. They spent time in Japan, honing their skills and continuing to refine their shooting mechanics. We saw Handy's impact in a short amount of time, where he helped correct certain aspects of Hachimura's shot, particularly from outside the arc. It's safe to assume this work has continued, as we certainly need him to be a reliable three-point shooter for us. Having Hachimura come off the bench as a scoring spark plug could provide a significant boost for our team. This allows us to capitalize on their offensive firepower while maintaining a balanced lineup. As we go for the championship, having Hachimura in a role where he can excel and make a substantial impact offensively will be crucial. So we will continue to support him and look forward to his contributions to the Lakers' quest for another NBA title. His potential growth as a scoring threat, combined with his hard work and dedication, could be a game changer for our team. There will certainly be instances where Hachimura can find himself positioned primarily as a three-point shooter. However, it's important to recognize his potential as a dynamic offensive force. I truly believe he has the ability to drop 20 points on any given night. His efficiency, effectiveness, size and strength make him a formidable offensive presence. Unlike many others on our list, he has the physicality to assert himself and secure favorable court positions. His ability to utilize his strength and physicality to create scoring opportunities is a valuable asset. While LeBron James shares this trait, having Hachimura on board also adds depth to our list in this regard. When we consider a starting lineup with players like Russell Westbrook, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, we already have a substantial offensive arsenal at our disposal. In that context, it might make sense to bring in Jared Vanderbilt, especially if he really improved his three-point shooting during this offseason, which has been a focal point of his training. Vanderbilt can then take on the point of attack role. However, a likely scenario is for Jared Vanderbilt to start games as a starter. He could play the first 5 minutes or so, serving as the main block defender against the opposition's best player. Then, around 5 minutes, Hachimura can come into play as the first advanced substitution, whether to replace Jared Vanderbilt or LeBron James. This rotational strategy suggests that Hachimura could end up logging more minutes than Jared Vanderbilt. At crucial moments, especially during close games, it's conceivable that Jared Vanderbilt could return to the court to provide elite defensive skills. This tactical flexibility allows us to effectively neutralize the opposing team's offensive threats and maintain a strong defensive presence. Ultimately, balancing the offensive and defensive aspects of our lineup is the key to success. We need both Rui Hachimura's prowess and Jared Vanderbilt's defensive prowess to secure the wins. When it comes to Rui Hachimura's position on the court, we can explore various matchups. In certain cases, starting Rui at the 3 could make sense. However, I believe that, for the most part, he might encounter some challenges when guarding the quicker, more agile wings. Players like Mikal Bridges and Andrew Wiggins, known for their rapid footwork and explosive first steps, might pose difficulties for Rui due to his somewhat limited lateral quickness. On the flip side, Rui possesses exceptional durability and strength. He boasts a solid lower center of gravity, enabling him to effectively defend against bulkier opponents. We've seen him successfully match up against formidable figures like Aaron Gordon, larger players such as Jaren Jackson Jr., or even versatile big men like Nikola Jokic. In these scenarios, Rui Hachimura thrives at the power forward position. He creates mismatches for the opposing defense and tends to be a more formidable defender. Looking ahead, I personally envision Rui Hachimura as the future successor to LeBron James, whether that transition occurs when LeBron retires or makes other career moves. In all likelihood, our starting lineup will feature D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, and Anthony Davis. Of course, potential additions of another star player could alter this lineup. For instance, acquiring a talent like DeMar DeRozan might prompt adjustments, such as moving Austin Reeves to point guard and configuring a lineup with DeRozan, Vanderbilt, Rui, and Anthony Davis. This illustrates the dynamic nature of team compositions, where changes can occur based on player acquisitions and strategic considerations. I had a thought that crossed my mind, and that's regarding Rui Hachimura's role on the team. In my view, he's ideally suited as our sixth man, tasked with being an offensive powerhouse. However, there's a crucial factor in maximizing his potential, putting him in the right positions to succeed. Rui isn't your typical point guard who handles the ball, makes decisions, and orchestrates plays. Instead, he's a player you want to get the ball to in opportune situations. It's about running plays and offensive sets through Rui Hachimura, and I strongly advocate for this approach. I'm not suggesting every possession should revolve around him, but he should be a focal point. I think Rui has the potential to be a consistent contributor of 14 to 18 points per game coming off the bench. This is not an unrealistic expectation. He could very well be in the running for sixth man of the year, even if he doesn't win it. It's about him consistently delivering around 14 points and 8 rebounds per game off the bench, which would be very valuable. Looking ahead, Rui's role is likely to expand over the coming seasons, whether that be next season or the next 3 years coinciding with his new contract. He will likely transition into an entry-level role and take on a more significant role within the team. This is the right time to start planning your greatest responsibility and impact on the Lakers. As we consider the evolution of Rui's role and positioning within the team, it is essential to recognize the presence of important players such as LeBron James, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, and the emerging Austin Reeves. These are individuals who demand the ball, thrive on orchestrating plays, and demand their share of shot attempts. Let's not forget the additional opportunities to score, often referred to as scrap shots. Players like Jared Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes, and Gabe Vincent, when they are part of the rotation, also get their fair share of tries. Plus, if the Lakers acquire someone like Christian Wood, he'll naturally go after his own shot attempts. Now, I'm not implying that Rui will have 20 shots per game. However, what sets Rui apart is his remarkable efficiency in shooting the basketball. It's safe to assume he'll only improve in that regard next season. Consequently, Rui doesn't need a high volume of shots to make a significant impact. Consider this scenario: if he gets around 12 shots per game, he has the ability to hit around 15 points. This estimate takes into account his ability to take free throws and get to the free throw line, his proficiency in three-point shooting, and his effectiveness as a kickoff shooter. It's important to remember that Rui possesses the attributes of a legitimate striker, standing at 6 feet 8 inches, weighing in at 240 pounds and boasting a 7 feet 2 inches wingspan. These physical attributes, along with his versatility, allow him to defend effectively against larger offensive assignments. In his previous stint with Washington, he averaged just under 11 field goal attempts per game, specifically 10.8 attempts per game. This demonstrates his ability to make the most of finishing attempts and contribute to the team's offensive production. During his first 2 seasons in the league, he consistently averaged around 13 points per game. To be precise, he averaged exactly 11.4 points in both the 2019 and 2020 seasons. What is intriguing is that his shot attempts remained consistent during those years as well, averaging 11.4 attempts per game. In his rookie season, he contributed 13.5 points per game, and that number increased slightly to 13.8 points in his sophomore year. Now, if we allow him just a few more shot attempts each game, it's quite achievable for him to hit the coveted 15-point mark. So to put it in perspective, with 11 shot attempts he would score 13 points. If he gets 12 or 13 shot attempts, he should easily average around 15 points per game. Imagine him coming off the bench in a pivotal role, serving as the primary offensive threat. This allows you to give LeBron James and Anthony Davis some well-deserved rest. Let's say you decide to replace someone like Jackson Hayes, who, while talented, lacks the offensive repertoire of Anthony Davis. Rui can thrive in this scenario. His presence would ensure that, even with LeBron and Anthony Davis on the bench, his team maintained a formidable level of firepower, size, and versatility. This was a facet that we didn't fully own last season. Manager Darvin Ham often chose to rest his star players simultaneously, a practice which was met with some criticism. However, it's worth noting that many highly regarded coaches, even the likes of Steve Kerr, have simultaneously rested their star players like Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson while relying on other talents like Jordan Poole. The difference now is that Austin Reeves has emerged as a reliable attacking threat, and Rui Hachimura has also joined the ranks. With these additions, you can comfortably seat LeBron James and Anthony Davis, allowing players like D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura to shine. Surround them with valuable resources like Taurean Prince and Jackson Hayes, and you've got a solid rotation that ensures there's no significant drop in offensive capabilities when your stars stop for breath. Consider the addition of players like D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura, who can serve as dynamic scoring options. Alongside them, you have Taurean Prince, a reliable 38% three-point shooter, and Gabe Vincent, who, while not at that level last season, has shown the potential to be a 38 to 39% shooter from beyond the arc. In this lineup, you also have Jackson Hayes, an excellent rebounder, alongside Rui Hachimura. By placing Rui in a more prominent offensive role, you create opportunities for him to excel. He can seamlessly work alongside LeBron James or Anthony Davis. The key is providing him with these opportunities. Even a player with the skills of a Michael Jordan wouldn't shine if they're restricted to a corner role, as the famous phrase goes, "Never put baby in the corner." Opportunity is what elevates players from good to great in the NBA. Almost every player in the league can deliver a 20-point performance if they're granted 20 shot attempts. It's the nature of the modern NBA. Paul George, or another player, mentioned this in a podcast. The distinction between stars and others often boils down to the opportunities they receive in terms of shot attempts and their consistency. Paul George, for example, consistently gets over 20 shot attempts per game, and he delivers accordingly. So, if Rui Hachimura is given the chance and enough shot attempts, and he manages to maintain consistency and efficiency, he can certainly become a significant offensive force. Now, let's explore this further. When a player is both efficient and effective on the court, it becomes the foundation for something special. It's not necessarily implying that Rui will inevitably ascend to all-star status, but it does emphasize the potential he possesses. We've witnessed moments of brilliance, even during his time with Washington, where he dropped 30-point games and displayed his scoring prowess. Washington recognized his abilities and often made him a focal point of their offense. The critical factor here is the opportunity. If the Lakers afford Hachimura the chance to shine, I genuinely believe he'll seize it. These are my personal thoughts and perspectives. Now, I will turn the question over to you. What are your insights on Rui's return to the Lakers training facility? What are your expectations for him this upcoming season? Please share your thoughts in the comments. I'm eager to hear your perspective. See you next video.